Hello everyone, welcome. So now I will be talking about the different types of interviews. So there are different types of interview and I'll be discussing about a few. The first one is telephonic interview. So, telephonic interviews are often conducted by the employers in the initial interview round of the hiring process. So, these interviews are conducted to shortlist the candidates. So, you have a conversation with the employer or the interviewer over the phone. So, you'll get a call and you need to interact with the interviewer over the telephone. Next is online interview or Skype interview or any interview that takes place with the help of any video conferencing application or software where you can see one another with the help of any video conferencing application such as Skype, Zoom, then Cisco WebEx, Google Meet, and there are many other platforms which can be used for video conferencing. So these applications are used for online interviews, and in these kind of interviews you can see one another and interact with one another during the interview. All right. Next is the face-to-face interview or the personal interview, and it is also known as one-on-one interview. So here you will sit in front of the interviewer and you'll have a direct conversation with one another. All right. Next is the written or online test. So nowadays most of the organizations, especially government organizations, especially when you apply for government jobs, you need to sit for a written test or an online test. So after you clear the written or online round, then only you will be called for the personal interview round. So the written or the online tests are basically based on English grammar, composition, then mathematics, general knowledge or current affairs, and it can be also related to your core subject. So whenever there is an advertisement about the vacancy, and you will get all the information related to that exam or related to that written or online test with the advertisement. So you'll get to know what you have to study, what are the areas you need to study, whether you need to study your course material or you need to study something apart from that like English, grammar, composition, mathematics or current affairs. So you'll get to know when you go through the advertisement. So nowadays most of the private organizations also conduct written or online test just to check the knowledge of the candidates related to the core subjects or the other areas such as general knowledge and English, etc. All right. Next is the panel interview. So panel interview is basically a conversation with two or more members of a hiring team. The panel might include your potential supervisor or someone from the human resource team and other decision makers. So in a panel interview, each member has an opportunity to ask you questions about your experience, qualifications and goals, and you need to interact with each and every member of the panel. Next is group interview. Group interview is a process where multiple candidates are interviewed at the same time. So the point of a group interview is to see how candidates choose to stand out from each other, how well candidates function in a group of people they do not know, and if candidates show the teamwork attributes that you need. Next is group discussion. So group discussion is also one of the initial rounds of interview, which is a shortlisting process, and the candidates will be called for a group discussion, and 10 to 15 members will be sitting and discussing about a particular topic, and they will be communicating with one another, sharing their views and opinions, and on the basis of certain skills the candidates will be evaluated and then selected, and they will be facing the other rounds after they clear the group discussion round. So group discussion is also one of the initial rounds, and it is basically conducted to shortlist the candidates and to evaluate the skills such as communication skills, teamwork, stress management skills, etc. Next is jam session. So jam stands for just a minute. So jam session is just a minute session. So here a topic will be given and you need to tell about the topic within a minute. So this is basically conducted to check your presence of mind and to check whether you're able to handle that particular situation, or whether you're able to handle the stress or not. So this is also one of the shortlisting process and initial rounds of interview. So these are the basic types of interview.